All right, boys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to today's If I Was Manager of, and today is my team, Manchester United. If I was manager of Manchester United. Now, thank you to everybody who has been watching the little series so far. This is going to continue for FM22. Okay, so next week's episode will be Juventus. All right, so down in the comments, after I've done Juventus, where would you like to head? Where would you like to see me head to next? All right, let me know down in the comments. So, Manchester United, obviously we've got Ronaldo in the squad, updated database. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the tactic. What I would do if I was, I suppose, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not copying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is what I would do if I was manager of Manchester United. Obviously, signings of Ronaldo, Varane and Sancho have made United very strong. The only maybe issue is what side to play Sancho on and also what to do with the midfield combination. All right. Let's get into today's If I Was Manager of Manchester United. All the tactic links and stuff to download it for your saves is down below. All right, boys, so here we are. Now, before we go into the tactic, I'm just going to quickly show you how the tactic is done. We finished third in the Premier League. Now, it has been simulated. I played the first 10 games of the season. So up until probably October time, maybe. And then I left it up to the simulation. I did put my strongest team in, and it's kind of run some of them ragged into the ground. But they've had a good season. Third place, 87 points isn't to be sniffed at. Now, Arsenal, for some reason, somehow got 91. 7 defeats, though. A lot away from home were a little bit of a killer for United. We won the Champions League. I did that one myself. We had Bruno Fernandes injured, but Paul Pogba stepped up for me, managing to score a hat-trick from Shadow Striker, a role that I used Pogba back in FM18. We got knocked out in the semi-final of the Emirates FA Cup, and we also runner-up in the Carabao Cup. So I think for United, not a bad season. I would take that as a Man United fan right now, racking up 87 points and winning the Champions League. I'd take that. So the tactic is 4-2-3-1. Now, there was ideas of Manchester United dropping to a 4-3-3 and having sort of like Fernandes and Pogba either side of a City midfielder. That was sort of like rumoured in pre-season, but we tend to have stuck to the 4-2-3-1, and that's what I would do. Now, the issue obviously with United is this role here, sort of like the ball winner and the defensive midfielder. So I've gone for Scott McTominay. Number one, because I don't like Fred. I just think he has the potential to be a half-decent ball-winning midfielder, a City midfielder. His passes are all right. Remember, United are looking at players like Declan Rice. So I think McTominay could be, rather than going with it as an 8, I think he could turn into a half-decent 6. And because we're not signing players, I do think Manchester United are really going to go in for Declan Rice in a year's time and get him in to sort of like pretty much complete the lineup for them. But yeah, that's the one thing. But for this save, we've gone with a 4-2-3-1. I didn't want Fernandes. I think Fernandes is better at the pitch in terms of his assists and his goals. We don't want him in sort of like the right, because you would probably play Pogba on the left of the three, McTominay in the middle. I didn't want Fernandes coming in deep. He doesn't really affect the play that well when he comes in deep. He's so much better breaking into the box and getting in around the penalty area. So 4-2-3-1, attacking is kind of what you would expect. I really wanted United to go for it this year. Slightly shorter passing, just to try and retain the pass a little bit. Higher tempo and wide. Keep the pitch wide, especially when we're playing against low blocks. In transitions, we're distributing to the flanks quickly. The idea is that we get the ball out to the wide players in Sancho and Rashford or Greenwood and whoever. Martial. Counter and counter press. We want to win the ball high up the pitch. We didn't see much of that from United last season. And then out of possession, force opposition out wide. We go nice and narrow, defensive line higher, and then we get stuck in. We haven't gone crazy with the press because obviously there's Ronaldo up there, not the greatest at pressing. So we haven't gone amazing with the press. So that's why I've just left that on standard, but just going up a notch, just so we're a little bit higher up the pitch. Now the player roles are interesting. Wan-Bissaka is obviously the right back. Personal instructions of sit narrow and tackle harder. The two defenders, that's the reason why I've done that is because obviously he's not great at going forward. We are playing a winger that we'll speak about in a minute anyway, so I thought it was good just to have him tucking in. This then gives us the opportunity to push Luke Shaw on a little bit. We've got him as a complete wing-back on support. Maguire and Varane, two players that can kind of do it all. I didn't want to necessarily put them both on stoppers and covers or anything like that. I think they'll rotate. Both are quite good at stepping in and being stoppers, so just for now I've left that as two solid centre-halves. In the midfield, we've gone for McTominay as a ball-winning midfielder on defend, and I've gone for Pogba, an advanced playmaker on support. Now, this is a little bit round the match engine. I don't like Paul Pogba when he's sort of like in these areas here. I hate it because he slows the play down. So the idea that I would like to see is that when McTominay goes in here, Pogba then is a little bit, it'll be turned out, I suppose, a little bit isometric, with Pogba just moving up the field. Even though he's an advanced playmaker on support, it doesn't mean he's necessarily gonna get too high. I've used this role as well with Mariba in the Crystal Palace save, and he's been a little bit like a box-to-box. So I've got Pogba in there. Obviously, he's got Wan-Bissaka as a little bit of cover on this right-hand side. We're not going to get overrun too much because we've got Wan-Bissaka, who, when we're in possession, will kind of sit into these areas anyway. So Pogba, advanced playmaker. To be fair to him, he's had a decent season, 12 assists from central midfield. And then on the left, we've got Rashford. Now, I do think Jadon Sancho suits better on the left-hand side, cutting in. He played really well against Newcastle in the first half, being on that left-hand side and creating problems. But I do think for the overall balance of the team, because we've not got a really good right-back who, we necessarily don't want Wan-Bissaka, even though he can do it, he's not great at deliveries and crosses. So I thought the idea would be with Rashford cutting on the left-hand side and even Sancho cutting on the left-hand side, whatever this role needs to be is more of a winger. Now, naturally, Jadon Sancho will try killer balls, play 1-2s, play shots, likes to beat his man. He's a bit of a playmaker, but also with his physicals in terms of his pace, he can get round the side. So I'm hoping that he keeps a little bit of width for us on this right-hand side when we're playing wide as well. So when there's the balls on the left, hopefully, fingers crossed, there'll be a nice switch. We'll see Rashford switching the ball over to Sancho as much as possible. And then shadow striker Fernandes. I don't need him. I don't like him when he kind of drifts into these areas a lot. I like him to be a little bit higher up the pitch and nearly coming as a front two. Getting on the end of things. He scored 14 goals, 15 assists. Not bad. I do think if I'd have played most of the games this season, rather than letting the computer simulate it, we would have probably won the league because we'd have had a little bit of more rotation in the squad. Look, the players are absolutely dead. But yeah, Fernandes has done pretty well. That's what I would play him in. I wouldn't want to see him in a 3. Let me know your thoughts. I think he works better in this, in a 4-2-3-1 rather than a 4-3-3, playing on the right side of a 4-3-3. And then up front, the main man, Cristiano. He's got 38 goals this season, 26 in the league. I believe he was leading goal scorer. He was 26, beat Jimenez and Lukaku. Assists, average rating, Tellers has done very well. Tellers has racked up 22 appearances. And maybe that's because of Shaw's injury woes. 13 assists for Tellers as well, so GG to him. Any others? Pogba 9. Fernandes only 9. We may need more assists from him, and that's maybe because of the shadow striker role. Sancho as well. Let's have a little look at Jadon Sancho. 17 assists, 7 goals. Pretty impressive. So yeah, that's what I would do. Let me know your thoughts. I imagine there's a lot of Man United fans subscribed to the channel anyway, just because of past seasons doing Manchester United in FM sort of like Let's Play series. So let me know what you would do. We do need to strengthen in here. Let me know the thoughts. Declan Rice is a bit like that for me. I think he would be good for us because he's very good defensively. He progresses the ball okay. I don't think Camavinga would have been the answer actually for Man United, just because he tends to be a little bit more, would like to probably get forward a little bit more. I think Rice would be good as a sitter, but I just don't know. I think Scott McTominay, could he potentially be a one-man sitter if he just sits? I think at the moment we play with 2 sitters, but they kind of act as 2 8s rather than 2 6s. I think he's got it and he would have the discipline. He could definitely break things up. He's good physically. He played centre-back a lot for Scotland as well, so he's definitely got the defensive attributes. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. Could he do a long-term number 6 role for Manchester United? All right, guys, that is it. Download links down below. Thank you very much for watching. Smash a like on today's video if you haven't. Loads of stuff coming for FM22. Go check out my 10 teams to manage for FM22. And as I said at the start of the video, let me know who you would like to see next. It is Juventus next because they've had a terrible start to the season. But where else would you like me to visit? This is going to carry on as well for FM22 because I'm loving putting this side together and showing you what I would do with individual teams. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next week for the Juventus episode. Take care. See you later.